Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition. Welcome to a very special episode of Rob Loves Arguing. We're gonna delay the calls another week. I apologize to the people waiting for the phone call portion of the show. We wanted to get to them this week, but we had a bit of a tragedy. If you look on the calendar, today is October 7th. And I think October 6th will now be a day that replaces October 7th on the calendar. Last night, I was in attendance on my way, I guess I should say, to be in attendance to a rap concert. Chance the Rapper, I believe Southside Chicago. I looked it up last night because I was feeling, I felt like he was being corny at times, and I wanted to know what part of. I got a little defensive about what part of Chicago he grew up in. I guess he actually did grow up on the South Side, which is pretty hard, but did not handle his divorce well. Chance the Rapper. I know I might receive. More so than the October 7th comment off the top of the show, I am worried that I'm going to receive criticism for my attendance at a Chance the Rapper concert. But, and truthfully, I had a very embarrassing conversation with a black gentleman out front where he asked me, he was checking me on what songs, and Chance is not the type of rapper I'm going to do well being checked on necessarily, because I just like Coloring Book. I like the poppy album and like a touch of acid rap, but I thought acid rap was kind of overrated, and so I was not, same drugs was not the answer to the gentleman with the hair there was looking for. Anyway, so I was at Chance the Rapper concert, and on the way, if you're familiar with the venue, Chance has had a pretty dramatic career fall off. Which was, again, explained to me that it was his divorce. I don't really fully understand why a divorce. What did he marry Erykah Badu when I was unaware of? But anyways, he got divorced, and apparently he's just been an absolute fag about it, and it's hurt his career. So he's playing Rebel, kind of a small venue outside the downtown core in Toronto. And so, he's a vibe. So we're taking mushrooms. Me and my girlfriend imbibed some psilocybin mushrooms on the way. And doing the responsible thing, we took public transit to a certain portion, but public transit is very annoying down there, so we decided to hop on a bike. Now, my girlfriend's very capable of riding a bike in, let's say, a big empty parking lot, a field of some sort with very little obstacles in the way. But in the city of Toronto, not terribly comfortable riding a bike along a motor vehicle. So on somewhat, and I'm going to incriminate myself here somewhat because I'm not contesting this ticket, I have been known with some regularity to double ride her on a bike. And last night was one of those such nights. And so on the way to the concert, we rent a city bike. I double ride her on the city bike. And we are observed by the Toronto Police Department at some point double riding on a bike. Sankar, what was the last time you double rode a bicycle?
Yeah, not a bicycle, which, I mean, if they could see me, seems like an insane question to ask me.
Sure.
Just weight-wise, but I did try to double ride my friend's motorcycle, and he grew very concerned with the tread on the tires. So
when you say you tried to double ride his motorcycle, do you mean you wrapped your arms around his waist behind him and held on while he rode his motorcycle?
There was a grippable part of the seat that
sure,
or maybe my hands were behind my back, and I can't remember. Our intention wasn't to go very far. It was supposed to be like, let's ride down the street, and he stopped after about a minute, not even like 10 seconds of driving.
I can't help but picture you with this gentleman in the Bound 2 Kanye West music video with Kim, where she's riding facing forward on a motorcycle, which, by the way, would have been a way cooler way for me to be double riding her when we got caught.
Oh yeah, how were you?
It's a classic. I'm on the pedal, she's on the seat.
Oh, gotcha.
Hands around the waist. Classic formation. Not the city bike. basket area is a little narrow for the human body. She has briefly made it in there once, but you hit a bump and you're gonna crack her fucking pelvis in half. So, which I would go around town claiming it happened a different way. But yeah, so crack pelvis aside, she rode on the seat. I was standing up. Adorable. And so we get pulled over. Now, I'm in a bit of disbelief right off the rip that I'm getting pulled over on a bike path, double riding a bike. Seems a little bit much right off the bat. I will say I probably came into the situation hot. Not gonna pretend like that's not the case. If you know me in my personal life, you know that trying to give me a ticket for double riding a bike is not generally going to be something that I take in kind. So he asked me for ID. Now I'm a little embarrassed of this. Sometimes I feel like as Canadians we get a little conflated in things we've seen in American law. You know what I mean? Where like you'll watch a YouTube video about your rights, but what you don't realize, you're watching a video about like rights you have in America, and so you just generally try to apply that to Canada.
Right.
So I was pulling a real name and badge number, please. Like I don't know if your YouTube is flooded with these guys who seem to have no other careers other than just show up to a place that seems weird to film, like something that's like not illegal to film, but everybody that works there would be like, why the fuck is this guy filming me? You know, like on like they'll show up to like a public works building that's like technically for the public, and he'll just like walk around and film shit until somebody calls the cops, and they're just trying to bait the cops into like doing something fucked up. And it's what the Westboro Baptist Church did for years with I hate fags shit, or God hates fags. They were just civil rights lawyers. All those the Westboro Baptist Church was trying to get you to do was deny them their rights so they could sue you. Like they don't hate fags, or like they, you know what I mean? Maybe they do. I don't know, but that wasn't
Maybe
really
it's a
what
two
was
birds,
up.
one stone type of situation.
Yes, they absolutely they want to stone that bird cage to death. That was the best gay thing I could think of with birds. But so anyways, we get pulled over, and I'm giving him a bit of sass, you would say.
Sure.
I give my ID over, but I'm complying. Like, I'm not trying to fight him on giving my ID. Now, we do have a little bit of mushrooms left on us, so that's in the back of my mind a little bit. And so I'm dealing with it, and like, you know, I'm videotaping him, he's videotaping me. We're in a classic videotape standoff with things. And again, I'm doing this embarrassing, what's your badge number? And it turns out in Canada, he doesn't have to tell me that. He could just be whoever he wants.
I do live by American rules because I watch a lot of those Audit the Auditors videos.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm talking about with the guys walking around. It's like, yeah, these guys, you know, but they're just kind of looking for trouble. Like it's like, yes, sir. It's also weird that you're just videotaping people walking out of a bank. Sorry, like, yes, it's technically illegal, but you're sort of ruining everybody's day.
Yeah.
So, So I'm videotaping. You're violating my rights, and then just quietly, as I'm being detained, I just check ChatGPT to see if I'm correct about my rights being violated, which I was not. And so we're dealing with it a little further, and then he tells us to go stand in front of the car after a little bit. Now, luckily, prior to this, I'd already thought, I better eat the rest of those mushrooms. So I sat down and just chewed on the last little bit of mushrooms I had, and so. Which, by the way, if I ever pursued this legally in any further way, this video would probably not help me in any way whatsoever. But so I'm chewing the rest of these mushrooms, and he tells us to stand in front of the car. So he issues me 2 tickets: the double riding the bike ticket, which I fully accept. If in the fascist, I mean, we talk about fascism so much. Do you know what Hitler would have hated? If I had to guess, double riding bicycles. I think Hitler himself, Eva Braun, if you know anything about the Germans, Eva Braun had back. You think it's hilarious thinking about you double riding. Now, Hitler was a fit gentleman, but Eva Braun was PHAT, I believe is what they called it in 1929, the Democratic Socialist Party. Called her pretty hot and tempting. She had a big fat ass on her, Eva Braun. Trying to fit that big fat ass on a standard Depression era bicycle basket was not going to happen. So I don't think that Hitler himself would have looked. I'm just saying, if you were to paint me a picture of a fascist nation, would part of that picture be a bunch of people double riding bicycles happily together? Like when George Orwell described the future, he didn't say, but you would be allowed to double ride with your chick. I think just if we're talking about being anti-fascist, I think double riding a bicycle has a little something to do with that. So this Nazi, this absolute Stalin, Stasi, fucking night security comes up, and obviously I don't want to dox the police officer. You could argue initially at this point he's just. By the way, this is the document. Hold on. We got the first charge. The first charge here. You can see that very clearly. We've got ride 2 on bicycle. Now you might be able to have zoomed in there and seen the officer's name. I don't want to say the officer's name. I will say, in a world where B's are L's and L's are B's, his name would be Banger. But I'm not going to specify any clearer than that. And so he gives me the ticket for the double riding a bike, and then he gives me a ticket for using my cell phone at the same time. Now, I'm also holding a Montelier, the blue water bottles from Dollarama. Yeah. I got one of those full of this delicious black raspberry gin, which, by the way, Junction 56, if at any point you want to sponsor me, makes a wonderful Bramble. So we were carrying a Bramble and a water bottle. So I have that in my hand. I have my chick on my back. And he's telling me I'm also operating a cell phone. So, Officer Banger, I implore you to release the footage. I think the nation needs to see me being capable of riding a bicycle while holding a water bottle and operating a cell phone. I'm just saying that's something I think the public would like to see. This is not even about my innocence. I'm not fighting the double riding ticket. I will probably claim my innocence to the cell phone charge. Seems a little silly. Seems like, Officer Banger, maybe you just didn't have enough on me for what you felt. And again, he did. This is a tendency I do have in my life, is I will waste a lot of my own time getting into a conflict like this. Like, he kept us for 30 minutes, mostly because of me. I did a lot of every car that drove by, because we're on like a secluded, weird industrial street. Okay. Like by the Rebel Entertainment Complex. Like there's nothing going on. It's just the occasional car staring at us like, what could you possibly be getting arrested for over here? And so every time a car drove by, I went, double riding a bike. We were double riding a bike. So I'm creating a bit of a scene, but what I've learned is that is not illegal to cause a scene. You're actually allowed to call cops names. You can call a cop a cunt.
I've always wondered about that. How far can you take it?
So here's where you have to be very careful when verbally assaulting a police officer. It can't be anything that they could even manipulate to be construed as a threat. So if you say you're a cunt, that's just my opinion. My opinion is you're a cunt, right? If I say suck my dick, that could be an implied threat.
Unless you say it sensually, like suck my dick.
Yeah. But you want to be recording just in case then, because you can't. Then it's your word versus him and how sensual. You would like to have audio proof of the sensuality in your voice. You know what I mean? You want to get that courtroom wet. When they listen back to the body cam footage of that thing. Otherwise, you might be in trouble. So, I didn't tell him to suck my dick. I was very smart about what... and then I also, because initially it was I was a good chunk of mushrooms. My heart's thumping. Also, I've been double riding for a bit, so I'm a little winded. And I didn't love my initial approach to the entire thing. So when I got a little calmer, I became the, you know what, man, not all cops are bad, but it's ones like you that ruin it for the good guys. You know what I mean? There's people out here reviving fentanyl addicts and whatever, and here you are double riding, keeping us here for 30 minutes because you think it's going to ruin our night or whatever, blah, 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 whatever. And so then he just keeps us there longer, obviously. So I get the ticket, the initial ticket. He gives me the second ticket for whatever. Now, I get presented these tickets. I got to paint the picture for you a little bit. Maybe I'll send you some of the video in post.
That would be great.
So he's told me and my girl to stand in front of his vehicle. He's at some point ordered us to stand in front of the vehicle. Now, I get why he did it because I was filming him through his window. And if we stand in front of the vehicle, the cherries sort of distract the camera from his view, right? So he goes and he has to stand in front of his vehicle. He puts his camera on us.
Yeah.
And
he yells, "Tell me how to suck a cock."
Yeah. Well, he does really like. I mean, it does escalate a little bit.
Okay,
So,
all right.
So he gives me the tickets, whatever. So he goes to get back in the car. Now I'm standing in front of the cruiser, right, on the traffic side, his driver's door. I think am I painting that clearly? There is the bike path all the way to our left. I'm about 20. The bike path we are on is about 20 yards away from the street. Like I get off the bike, I cross railway tracks. I cross like a median lawn area to get the gravel where he's now parked his car. So I'm about 20 yards away from where he's parked initially. So now I'm in front of his car. So we're on the gravel. Next is the road, right? So I'm on the road side of the front of his car where he just gave me this ticket. Mm-hmm. He gets back into his car, immediately starts driving. He drives right into me. It was unbelievable. And you're shocked and you're just like, there's no way this cop just drove his car in him. I was very fortunate to get my hands on the thing and got out of the way. And it wasn't like he didn't peel out into me, but he just started driving forward while I was just standing in front of his car. So he kind of bumps me. I get a little bit out of the way. So now I'm like, you fucking, I am at 11 now. I'm like, you just drove your fucking car into me. Are you insane? This is you held us here for 30 minutes. You told me to stand in front of your car and then you drove the car into me.
I'm assuming it's similar to when you're turning right onto the street and you don't realize someone's crossing the crosswalk, so you could just kind of run into them a little bit.
They're currently looking for me again. There's more double riders out in the streets of Toronto this evening. So, so here's the thing. Where he gave me the ticket, there was no reasonable expectation unless he thought I was going to walk into the street around his car, which is not the correct thing to do. I almost feel like if I had walked into the street around his car, he would have given me a ticket for walking into the street. There's just no winning in the situation. So he drives his car into me. One of the most brutal incidents, nothing out of BLM was quite as bad as this collision. And I am fine. I have a metal plate in my hip now. That is, it looks somewhat like if you're wondering on the first episode with his arm, I feel like people are going to hate how much noise the arm made because I was not used to how to use it. And, but now it's good. I have to sit because I have similar to this arm in my hip now, thanks to Officer Banger. But anyway, so he hits me with the car. And so I'm at 11. My girl's at 11. And so he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, well, that's nuts. That's an odd defense.
Yeah.
And so then he gets back in the car and he starts driving off. And when he's driving off, we're still right next to his car. So my girl brushes up against his car and he gets out and starts running after her. Being now you're going to jail. Now you're going to jail to her. Because she's brushed up against his car. I guess assault on a vehicle or whatever. He tried to say it was mischief. So he's chasing her down, and I'm full I'm putting myself
Rage.
in between the cop and her, being you're a fucking psycho, and I'm gonna have your job. This is the end of your fucking career. And it is. I'll be honest. I don't I lull myself into not caring about this until I remember every time him chasing her down, and then you're angry because like things can happen to me and you just don't really give a shit. Like it's a bit like a Curb episode. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I got who gets a ticket for double riding a bike in the first place, and then the end result being the cop drives his car into me feels fun. You know, like if that's what was going to happen to Larry David, he'd be like, well, we don't want to get into a car accident, and so we'll double ride a bike, and then ultimately he gets hit by a car anyways.
Yeah.
But when I remember him, like when you start thinking about him like chasing her down, that's when you start getting a little more aggravated about the situation. And why I will pursue you, Officer Banger, badge number 82410. That's public information. You have to. He didn't want to give this to me in the first place. Well, you wrote me the ticket. You know when I wouldn't have had your information? If you didn't write me a fucking ride to on bicycle ticket. $110. Do you know what that would have been in Nazi Germany? $110 with inflation now? That would have been $3 in Nazi Germany, that ticket.
It's an underrated thing about Nazi Germany. Very anti-inflation.
Yeah, The whole thing was set up to try to fight inflation. This is why you got to be careful about inflation. They will make you Nazis. That is odd that that's the quickest line to Nazidom is milk being expensive. But anyway, so I will be fighting this. I hope everybody stays tuned to this exciting legal journey that I will be on. I called the bike lawyer today. He didn't seem terribly enthusiastic about it because I wasn't standing on the bike at the time, unfortunately. But sitting. I guess I was standing on the bike as you do when you double ride. But yeah, I do have a tendency to get myself in. It reminded me because when I was, of course, threatening to like sue and take his job or whatever, I actually have been part of a lawsuit against the Toronto police before once in my life. I was once famously part of this is a story about the furthest I've ever gone to win an argument before. At 2010, 2011, the G20 in Toronto, I can't remember exactly the year now. I think PTSD has probably blocked it out from the traumatic events. But so the Friday happens, everyone's wiling out, and I personally thought the cops handled it kind of good. They let people do their thing, black bloc, blah, 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 whatever. They smash some windows. Now, I had an interesting perspective on this because I was a security guard at the time. I guarded, have you ever been on Bloor Street where there's this, like, between Bay and Yonge on Bloor and, like, Yorkville, the rich area? You know where that, like, weird mountain is? That, like where all the rich stores are in Yorkville?
Yes.
So there's, like, a hallway there in between Bloor and Yorkville. I guarded that hallway at night. This was like a thing that I did. And that hallway sat between a Nike store and a couple other little like boutique things. And I didn't guard the Nike store. I guarded the hallway. I liked that job. I used to let homeless people sleep in there at night. It was like my own little Hotel Rwanda. There was a pita pit in the lower level with some like food court style chairs.
Yeah.
And so the homeless people would sleep there, and I would go down and tell them like, hey, you got till 6 a.m. and I got to kick you out. And I would go sleep. They would sleep. Everyone was sleeping. And I'd wake up around 6 o'clock, and I'd wake up all the homeless people and ask them to leave. And what the fuck was the... Oh, yeah. Anyways. So it was a Nike store there. And way away from where the G20 was, we were boarding up the windows at the Nike store because we knew when the G20's here, Nike is something that gets targeted by those groups quite regularly because of child labor practices in the third world. So we had enough sense up there to know that they were going to smash windows at a Nike store. Mm-hmm. So how they did it on Queen Street is a little beyond me. But I think the point is they did. They wanted people to do what they did on the Friday during the G20. They might have even provoked it. They might have even had a couple of guys in there getting a little wild themselves, as they often seem to do. But they burned that cop car that was clearly decommissioned already, that they just left there to be burned on purpose. And so I thought the way they handled it was fine on a Friday. On the Saturday, they started getting violent with people, and that's where me and my ex-wife got into a bit of a disagreement. She had lived a very kind of nice, sort of sheltered life in Mississauga, not many interactions with the police. And so she assumed that if the police were acting that way, the people they were acting that way towards probably did something to deserve it, right?
Sure.
And so we started having an argument about that, and the eventual resolution was, well, we have to go down ourselves and see, because, like, we're not going to get a clear answer from this. So
That's so funny. You guys are going to see to settle a marital
Yes.
dispute.
Yeah.
Not to help, not to do anything.
Yeah. We weren't there for the whales. We weren't there for the climate. We weren't there for we were there to see who was correct. And because at this point, I wasn't terribly political. Like, a lot of my cop rage at that point was just, I was a shithead criminal growing up, so fuck the police. It hadn't quite become, like, articulate, like the 14th Amendment. It wasn't there yet. And so, like, I was really kind of just down there to be like, and so we go down, and I remember we kind of whiffed. Like, we didn't even look up where the protest was that day. We kind of figured we'd just find it. And so we went to Queen's Park, no protest, kind of milled around for a while. And then genuinely we were like, you know what we could go for? Oh, we ran into some friends. We ran into Jillian Thomas, who was a comedian in Toronto at the time, who I believe is a nanny in New York now. And Malcolm Ingram, who she was friends with, who I knew a little bit. He's a documentary filmmaker who is friends with Kevin Smith. He made a documentary called Small Town Gay Bar. Very nice guy, cool apartment in the gay village. Big fella. 4 of us got together. That matters later. Sorry, that was a weird point to just say big fella. And
No, you know I like big people.
Yeah,
like myself, so you're just letting me know.
Not huge on double riding bikes, Malcolm Ingram. We'll just say that. Not a big double
clear
rider.
non-double rider.
Yeah. There's really 2 types of people in society: double riders and non-double riders, and I would put him in the non-double riding category of things. Although if you knew his sexually, maybe a double rider. I can't speculate.
I was going to say, when you texted me, I was double riding with my girl. There was an overt sexual reading to when I read that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. I mean, I don't know that there's a ticket for that, but yeah.
I guess it depends on what the act is, because
Sure.
Yeah. What would double riding be?
Yeah, it is odd. It does imply pegging, but
yes. Okay, I'm there.
Yeah. And honestly, when you get into the pegging realm, I mean, girls can have as many dicks as they want. We're not really limited at that point in that world. I know there's a double-ended dildo, but you would have to imagine at this point they have created the two-dick the strap-on.
Yes.
Right?
I think I've seen it in a video.
I imagine there's a two-dick strap-on now.
Yeah. Because one is for the ass, and the other is for the vagina.
See, that's not even. I was going with lesbian activities. That would be positioned entirely different. But no, but you have me wrong still. Now, I wasn't thinking the way you were thinking. I like the vision, because lesbians. I don't imagine lesbians wanting it up the ass. Do lesbians take it up the ass at all?
I don't know.
That's got to be the lowest. If you were to rank all the communities in who takes it up the ass the most, gay men, obviously the king of the mountains and taking it up the ass. I would then say straight. Well, what are we doing with trans people here? This seems too. We'll just say trans second.
You know what?
For simplicity.
Let's leave it to the side, like the bathroom debate. We haven't addressed it in a while societally.
We're not gonna. Yeah, you got to take 2 years of hormone treatment. We're gonna treat this like the Olympic Committee.
Okay.
Let's call it gold medal and silver, so that way we can exclude trans people and people will be okay with it.
Sure.
Okay. So the gold medal and ass fucking is gay men, obviously.
Yes.
I would say secondary to them would be straight women.
Wait, see? I don't know.
In getting it in the ass, I'm saying. We're talking getting it in the ass.
Yes. Yes, in the amount. But who loves it more? I would debate there's more straight men who I'm still in debate that straight women enjoyed it all, besides the sexuality of it.
Yeah,
the dirtiness.
I would argue the actual levels of enjoyment of taking it in the ass. I would argue it's probably similar between
straight men and
straight men and straight women, because there's been some pretty assy girls I've been with in the day, and there's been and I would argue just straight out of the fear of repercussion. No, you know what? I'm going to say, if we were measuring it out of love,
yeah,
the straight men love it more because the fear of ridicule is greater. You're taking a much greater risk societally taking it in the ass as a straight man as you are as a straight woman. So to take the leap all the way into taking it in the ass as a straight guy has to say something about how much you love taking it in the ass.
I will say, I know 2 women.
That's it?
No, my mom and my girlfriend. No, I know 2 women, somewhat friends of mine, who have told me that they fuck guys in the ass with a strap on. Like, I won't say often, but it's like way more common than you think. That's what they've told me.
Interesting. I see, but I think that's a real demographic thing, because
These 2 women are both from the same demographic, but they were talking about 2 different races of men. One of them only does it to white guys, and one of them equal opportunity.
See, I don't think the color matters.
Oh, okay.
Into taking it in the ass. I think it's a... Listen, I guess the only argument I'd have about the love that straight men have for taking it in the ass, if they do, in fact, take it in the ass, is that there's probably a segment of them taking it in the ass because they're with somebody they think is too good for them, and they like fucking them in the ass, and so therefore they take it in the ass to appease their partner. So I think a lot of the taking it in the ass comes from being in like a position of power in their regular lives, and then just having to have that power stripped by their partner.
You're picturing a lot of like executives and stuff like that.
Yes. I think the majority of pegging and stuff would be in that. Whereas I believe as a lower person, our role is to not participate in such things. We fuck the rich people's wives. Like, that's our... I've always thought the balance in... We've gotten really far away from the point. But
this is a cop discussion.
Yeah, the cop episode. Listen.
Cops are doms in the street, so you're probably suggesting this cop probably a sub in the sheets.
Cops are only necessary, I believe the quote is, when there is a separation in society between those who have and those who have not. And those who have take it in the ass, and those who have not fuck their wives. And I believe that's a foundational principle that we have in society, and somehow cops fit into that. But anyways, so we're at the G20, Malcolm Ingram, gay man. And so we decide, okay, well, let's go get a hot dog at Nathan Phillips Square. So we go down to the hot dog carts. Now, if you know anything about the city of Toronto, best hot dog carts in the city are at Nathan Phillips Square. You can still, to this day, get a hot dog and fries for $5. And so we're heading down there. And wouldn't you know it, that's where the protest was. So we never get a hot dog. We just end up in the protest. And so we're walking along, completely peaceful protest going down Queen Street. And we end up at Queen and Spadina, kettled in what turns out to be the largest mass arrest in North American history. Pretty surreal experience. Like, they pointed a sound cannon at us, which is a thing that they have. They have a sound cannon that had, I believe at that point it had been used once in maybe Pittsburgh, or like rolled out in Pittsburgh previously to us or something. I can't remember exactly, but a sound cannon, some rubber bullets were shot.
Wait. What's a sound cannon?
Like space movies, yes, a sound cannon. That's a thing that they possess.
And do the cops wear like those gun headphones, and then it hurt? How does that?
So all I know is they rolled it up the streetcar tracks up Spadina at us, and just like pointed it at the group, but never used it. It could have just been a psyop. Maybe there is no sound cannon,
okay.
and they just said we have a sound cannon. They did a lot of what we now call psyops. I remember the police chief, Bill Blair, at the time said that he had enacted this like 100-year-old law that gave him permission to search everybody that was like within 100 yards of the perimeter of the fence or whatever, which was not true. He just said afterwards, he's like, actually, I made that up, and then whatever. Anyways, long story short of it, I ended up making $12,000 off the G20. It was pretty nice. The only reason I survived COVID was because I got wrongfully arrested at the G20. We got kettled off. We're surrounded for about 5 hours. We're in this like standoff with the police. They're dragging people out one by one, shooting rubber bullets. Everybody in this area was arrested. Ironically, a different hot dog guy got arrested because his hot dog cart was just in the perimeter of the thing. Anyone having lunch at the Horseshoe Tavern that afternoon, everybody got arrested. Malcolm was actually one of the few people who didn't get arrested. Because he saw how like they were dragging us out. Like so what happened is we'd have to like line up to surrender ourselves, and they would like grab us and drag you backwards, zip tie you, take your stuff, put you in a paddy wagon, and then whatever. And so he saw the way they dragged me, and he was like, I'm not fucking letting that happen to me. So he like stood in a standoff for so long, I think like 7 hours or something, in the rain, in the whatever, to where it was bad enough and there was a few enough people left that the cops were like, fine, just whatever, and just go home. So he got out. They drove us to Kipling and Finch, the Hood. They just drove us to the Hood and let us go. Mm-hmm. And the guy next to me in the paddy wagon pissed himself, which was a treat. But we had been rained on pretty substantially. But yeah, ultimately, there was a class.
And how could you tell? Did you smell it?
No, he said, I'm pissing myself. And then piss came pouring out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Luckily, if you've ever been in a paddy wagon, there's 2 seats, and one's like up, and the other one's the seat for like the step down part. And he was in like the step down part. So the piss just opened as like a flood when the cops opened the door. They ruined my cell phone. They put my cell phone in an evidence bag that just filled with water. Like, they handed me an evidence bag with my cell phone in it like a goldfish floating around, which was nice. And so, they whatever. And we, like fucking 10 years later, COVID happens. And at that time, I had just got a check from a class action lawsuit I was a part of, whatever. I just signed, like, I filled like a check on a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And like I was part of a class action lawsuit. You never think any of that stuff's ever going to pay off. 12 G's, not bad.
Wow. Oh, lucky
12 G's.
duck.
It was the year of COVID. It was literally the entirety of my income for the year of 2020, up like past like 3 months of it.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. So that is, and so by the way, the conclusion of the argument. Even after all this, I hadn't won the argument yet, because she had assumed the next day the news would be like an injustice in Toronto. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
She thought that they'd be on our side, and then the next news was like violent thugs and all this shit, and she was like, "Oh, okay, they like lie." I remember the Bill Blair came out the next day, and he was like, "These are all the weapons that we had like found on." Their persons, and I don't remember how much you remember the G20, but there was a story like the first day the G20 started that they had arrested a guy near the fence of the G20 with a crossbow. They like pulled him over,
yeah, I remember,
and he had a crossbow in his trunk. So when Bill Blair showed all the weapons they found, they had like put the crossbow in it, just like amongst stuff to try to pretend like that was confiscated in that group of people. And it was like, I'm pretty sure I would have caught the fellow with the crossbow. Could you imagine how famous a picture it would have been that we're all like surrounded by police and there's this one guy with a crossbow and like that would be the equivalent of the Trump fight pic. Like that would be huge. That would be a big picture. It would almost be as good as the video that Officer Banger must have of me double riding a bike while holding a water bottle and operating my cell phone. I'd say that was pretty equally amazing.
Like a bear.
Some of the best
At the
videos.
circus.
The 3 best videos of all time. Third place, me double riding a bike with a water bottle and a cell phone. 2, the Donald Trump fight video. And, of course, number 1, what I assume is a Samoan guy, if you've ever seen footage, but the like kind of chubby guy with the bleached blonde hair riding the piece of cardboard at Woodstock 99 while Limp Bizkit plays break stuff, and he does sort of the like he's on it long enough to do sort of the like that guy's literally my
Legendary.
idol. That's the coolest guy that's ever lived.
You know what's weird about that kind of stuff? Because my mom talks about this a lot with hippies. That guy's probably like a fucking executive or something now.
It does suck that he's not like. I can't believe he didn't like. I've spent too much time trying to find out who that guy is. And by the way, if anyone knows and can get this to that guy, I would love to have him on the pod. I mean, I would make him the fucking third mic on the podcast if I had the chance to. That guy pulled off one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, but you're going to be disappointed. I'm telling you, 90% of people who were bitching back in the day are just like, you know, office workers now and stuff like that. Like,
I have faith. He seemed too Hawaiian. He seemed too Hawaiian. I would say if there's anything, I would say the reason I can't find him is because he's already been found by Dog the Bounty Hunter a long time ago, and we're not going to ever find that guy. But yeah. So, anyways, that was my interaction with the cops, and I thought, you know, we'd have a nice cop-themed episode. I think with everything going on in the U.S. right now, this is I know that a lot of people are criminal injustice is in the news, and while we're hearing a lot of things about ICE and other things in the U.S., I thought we should bring this back home and show you what, you know, we have a little bit of fascism here in Canada as well. You know, we have to stay vigilant in Canada that fascism could come here as well. And I think ticketing people for double riding a bicycle is a pretty good indication that maybe fascism is on its way here next. So
I have a little background on this.
Okay.
I saw an article not that long ago, like a couple weeks or something like that, where the cops promised to crack down on cyclist trouble in the city of Toronto. What makes me mad about this is, as a driver, people double riding bicycles in an industrial area is not what we're looking for in terms of cracking down on cyclists. It's people who fucking go on a red light in the middle of an intersection just because they're like, fuck that, I'm a bike.
Truthfully, and I understand you're trying to stand with your brown brothers, but let's be truly honest about what the problem is with bicycles in the city of Toronto, and that is Uber Eats drivers on motorized bicycles. Like, I don't know why we had to beat around the bush. Like, I initially tried to explain to the officer, you know, that's like a pedal bike, right? Like, that's just like one of those ones you pedal.
Yeah.
I'm not zipping around on a fucking Slumdog Millionaire bike. Those they've got to crack down on. If I was the mayor, the first thing I would do, we could just get rid of Uber Eats. We don't need it. It's not been a net benefit to society. It makes restaurants worse. Yeah. If you look at the best restaurants in the city now, Sugo, still amazing. You know why? They don't take Uber Eats orders.
What does Sugo sell?
Italian food.
Ah, okay.
And the best Italian food in the city, by the way. If you're visiting the city of Toronto, Sugo is I think one of the best dining experiences you'll have, because they've got their waiters are, I don't know how to put this where it doesn't sound weird. They have masculine service that's good, and I know that sounds weird, but I've been a server, I've been a bartender, and I've been a server, and I can bartend because as a bartender, you can have a masculine personality. People understand the trope of the gruff bartender, right? What do you have? I'm kind of short with you. I cut you off. I tell you you're doing something wrong. whatever. The server has to take on a homosexual affectation, a Malcolm Ingram affectation, right? And so they've got to seem like they double ride double dildos. It's just what you want from a server. You don't want a gruff server. It's a very difficult line as a male server to not come off homosexual but still pleasant. So that tends to be a sort of a, hey guys, how you doing? Like it's just tough to not come off fruity. So what I like about Sugo, and not that I care about a fruity server. I mean, some of the best servers in the world are the biggest fruit cups you'd ever meet. Fine people. But it's just that I like the ability, and I think it comes from the fact that they genuinely, one, they know that the food's not going to suck. You're about to get a product that you're happy with, so they can just be confident to be like, hey, come on in. You're about to have, hey, yeah, absolutely, whatever. There's something about working at a place where you know confidently this is not going to be a shit experience for you. It kind of helps. The food's great. It's the lowest price. Like it's not a crazy expensive dinner for what you're going to have. It's about fucking Applebee's prices. Like it's pretty impressive, quite honestly. And my ex did fuck the chef there. I will say that. To get revenge, she let the chef pick her up off the street. But she's a streetwalker. So what are you going to do? You know that from a separate podcast episode. But this is how good the food is.
The food's so good.
The food's
Your
so
wife
good.
Will fuck
my ex started fucking just the back of. By the way, not even front of the house. She fucked back of the house.
Yeah.
Which is like that's a pretty low level. You don't fuck back of the house. And so she started fucking back of the house at this restaurant just to make me mad, to try to get me not to go there anymore. The food's so good at Sugo. Fuck all the chefs you want at the back of that place. I don't give a shit. I'll happily. I'll bring the new girl there and happily enjoy a meal.
If
from
you're
your
a woman and you're listening to this right now and you're looking for a guy to fuck, go to Sugo and fuck one of the
fuck
chefs.
a chef.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of them probably don't have documentation, but hey, listen, that's a slave, really, if you don't have documentation. Anyways, that's how good Sugo is. What the fuck was? Oh yeah, Uber Eats drivers. Yeah. So like all these great restaurants are ruined because the in-person experience is being ruined by these Uber Eats drivers, and then you're walking out into the street afterwards, and they're doing U-turns and fucking wheelies and whatever fucking shit they got to do. I watched an Uber Eats driver on Dundas a while ago get hit by a car and then argue with the driver that they didn't need help and they didn't want to press charges because they needed to deliver their food. That's how bad these fucking guys just got to get you if you're ordering Uber Eats for anything short of you're desperately ill or you're stranded and drunk late at night, like if you're just lazily ordering, and I'm sure I'm talking directly to you right now, I'm sorry, but that's crazy. Like, just go get food. You're ruining the experience. Make food for yourself or go experience food. Pizza is for delivery. Chinese food is for delivery. You do not need McDonald's delivered. You do not need Subway delivered. You can go get that.
I think I don't actually order a lot of Uber Eats. I'm more cheap than I'm fat, surprisingly. But
those two go hand in hand, though, sometimes.
Yeah. Fat food is cheap.
Yes.
Like McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
But
not when you Uber Eats it.
No. See?
Yeah.
But I think any fast food is permissible to Uber Eats. What's insane is that people are out there Uber Eating like fucking oysters.
Sure, yeah. I was going to say one of my favorite restaurants in the city is Pie.
Yeah.
But I actually think that you can Uber Eats Pie. Somehow they've managed to make it work. But regardless, that's not the point. That's what I'd get rid of. But I'll tell you what, if I saw an Uber Eats driver riding a pedal bike, holding my food and using a cell phone while he double rides his chick, I'd tip him $5 for that, for sure. That's an automatic tip. Anyways, all right. That was a dissertation, but let's have some fun. You have a video pulled up,
yep.
And then I had something I wanted to get to because it had me thinking about my experience had me thinking about early episodes of Cops, but you have a fun video first here, right?
Well, no, we can do either one. We can do
let's do
Cops.
this one first. I like this.
All right. Hopefully this sound works. Oh yeah, let's go up in the volume a little bit.
Pray for the parents.
Why did I think just
First responders rushed to a fire inside a parking garage. Then one of the officers ends up in cuffs. So what's going on? As Jim Murray reports, authorities say he's a fake cop.
When police respond to a disturbance call, they find another cop already there. But something doesn't seem right.
Well, hold on. Pause for a second. First of all,
yeah.
another Malcolm. I mean, this guy looks classically homosexual.
Don't forget, cops like mustaches.
The cops do like mustaches, but that's not the correct haircut to go with the mustache.
Yeah.
So I do wonder. I'm going to go ahead and wonder if this starts out as a kink-based thing that went wrong. This might have just been a role play. This potentially was a gay role play that went to the next level, but we'll continue watching the video to see how accurate I am.
I will say I agree. From the neck up, he looks like he works at a speakeasy.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a part-time gig.
Got you. Do you have your commission card with you?
Yeah, give me a minute.
When he fails to return with the ID card, police in Bremerton, Washington are certain he's impersonating a police officer, a crime that's happening way too often these days. It is disturbingly
amazing.
easy to
Crime
get
that's
all
happening
criminal
way too
identity
often
to pose
these
as a
days.
real cop.
Also, did you
They
notice
rented this
they made
uniform at a local prop
the
house.
reporter
With
dressed like a
handcuffs,
cop?
badges, patches,
And way less
even a baton.
convincing of a
His
cop
name
than
that
is
guy.
Michael
That guy looks like
Stiletto.
way more of a
And
cop.
Look, the night before, they also came upon him in uniform when they were called to a 7-Eleven to deal with a trespassing
Oh, he's
complaint.
been doing it.
Yep, there he was. A quick background check confirms he's a convicted felon.
Is it a loaded
That's
firearm?
amazing.
I mean, listen, he's turned his life around.
Can you put your hands on the car, please?
Can we not do this in front of everybody? I mean, really?
Then he's
He's
placed
like,
That's
"Can we not
awesome.
do this?"
I like the professional courtesy play.
Yeah.
I like that he's still trying to play the, come on, there's a thin blue line over here.
Yeah. Really, IA?
Yeah.
Right in front of all the other cops?
You still using terminology to try to whatever. Yeah, no, I will say this is a pretty good fake cop outfit.
yeah.
Yeah. What, I mean, truly, if you think about, and this is in the U.S., I'm assuming, correct?
Yes.
So, like, if we really think about it, the recruitment drive they have for ICE currently, right? Like, defund the police. Is this guy not the face of defund the police? This guy's literally doing police work for no funds.
For free. Yeah.
Like, nobody's doing more to defund the police than this guy's doing.
I feel like this is part of... How would you... You're this guy? What are you arguing? Like, when the cops are like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? What's your response to kind of get out of this?
Oh, I'll tell you exactly what my
Okay.
yeah. I formulated that pretty quickly. So, what I would be doing if I was this guy is I'd be documenting every moment that was spent on arresting me. Right? I would then subsequently go back, find whatever record you could of how many crimes took place in that period of time, and I would argue that not only did you not spend the time preventing those crimes, I could have been preventing those crimes. You didn't just take yourselves off the street, you took me off the street. Now, impersonating a police officer is obviously a crime.
It is, yeah.
But apparently so is riding a bike with two people at the same time. I don't think that all crimes are the same, right? I think that it would be a lot worse. Who do I think is a worse person? The person that he just confronted for trespassing in a convenience store, bothering a person, or the person who spent a good chunk of change on a costume at a pretty good costume store, which, by the way, I think probably our costume designers and stuff are hurting pretty badly at this point. So, you know, a good high-quality costume like that is probably pretty good, probably made in America, if I had to guess. This guy's going out, spending his hard-earned money to then do free police work. And these cops are wasting their time on him rather than getting actual criminals. That's where I would start.
I would love to know if he solved any crimes in his... I don't know if it's days. Could have been weeks that he spent like this.
Well, and if they did, yeah, is it like, do we just Ghostbuster this guy where we go into the thing and we release all the spirits back into New York City? right? Like when the
Yeah.
the environment, the EPA, is that who shuts down the Ghostbusters? Is the EPA?
I think so. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
If I'm recalling it correctly, it's the EPA, which
Yeah,
is sort
yeah.
of a strange place for them to go with that. But anyways, point is, I think my argument would be, listen,
You've wasted time.
all these liberals want to defund the police. Here I am, being the police for no funds, and you're going to arrest me for it? I don't know. Who's mad at this guy? Which side politically, right? Because in America now, you're basically just like flipping a coin
yeah, it's true.
with any judge. There is no law in America anymore. It is simply just, did I get a Republican or a liberal judge? And it's just, and whatever the crime is, you better hope that it's a conservative crime or a liberal crime. So this, to me, doesn't really fit in either jurisdiction, because the liberals, yes, you're out here defending the streets, but we're not paying you, which is kind of what we've asked the cops to do at this
Sure.
point, right? Is risk their lives defending us, but not be paid for it. And then conservatives love cops, and why not an extra cop? You know what I mean? Like conservatives, the George Zimmerman group, like, you know,
Yeah. That's
like he
true.
hasn't beaten a Trayvon
Yes, Trayvon
Martin. Thank you.
Yes.
I was about to call him Trayvon Zimmerman. I've now put them together in my head. But yeah. So, anyways, and that guy was Hispanic. But let's catch up on the rest of this.
Mr. Scaletta, you have the right to remain silent. Let's remove the gear.
Police tell Scaletta they know about his notorious
They're
past
disrobing-
and
this
how
is-
he
This
was
is actually probably
convicted
what he
of making
wanted.
a bomb
Yeah.
threat
Ultimately.
in
Oh
2015.
boy, you want me to get naked in front of all of you?
2015.
I was arrested. I wasn't arrested.
he's
Never been
confused.
arrested.
I wasn't
Never
arrested.
once.
But I mean, you have a file.
Yeah, I
Along
mean,
with
this
police
is
gear, police
tough.
say they also discovered a firefighting helmet in Scaletta's vehicle.
Sick.
Michael Scaletta
Sick.
has pleaded not
This
guilty
guy
to
is handling
impersonating a police
all of
officer.
the fucking services in town.
yeah.
I would love to find out that this guy has also just sat in as like a counselor on a city meeting before. Like
Yeah,
he's just
yeah.
added a 13th chair to a council meeting and like come up with a fake district that he belongs to. I want to give this guy a show where we see how many civil servant jobs he could pretend to have.
It's dirty jobs, but with cops and firefighters.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
He's got a paramedic. You got to go trifecta.
Yeah,
It's got to be a paramedic.
He
too.
calls it dirty hobbies, where he just does terrible jobs as a hobby.
You have to be able to think of a better argument. Like if the cops tell you you were arrested in 2015, there has to be a better way to respond to that than
No, I
"Me?
wasn't.
No.
No. No. Not me. Oh, sorry. No, I'm Officer Me. That was a different me. That was meth me. That was arrested back then. Yeah, no, you have to listen. You say that, but last night I had a cop drive his car into me, and his argument was, "No, I didn't." So
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, true.
you don't have to have a better argument. Once you put the badge on, your argument can then just become, even if the badge is fake. I don't know for certain I was arrested by a real cop last night. We can't say for certain.
That's true.
This is pretty easily forgeable documentation. You know what I mean? Like, I will say the paper stock is pretty good.
Yeah, but you can get any paper.
Yeah.
There's no
I would
paper
say
you
this
can't
is hard to rip.
I think that's why.
Yeah, okay.
You can.
It rips.
You can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
does
yeah.
rip, but it's still not easy.
You kind of
certainly.
had a what's his name, Ray J situation there. You ever seen that
I fucked
clip?
Kim Kardashian?
No, yeah, that guy. But there's
Yeah.
like a clip where he's like, "You can't even break these glasses," and the interviewer is like, "Don't dare me to do this." He's like, "I'm telling you, they're unbreakable," and then he snaps it in front of him.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a career that guy's had.
He's an amazing guy.
Because wasn't he also on, what was the Dance 360? You ever see Dance 360?
No.
Put an edit note. Put a little clip of Dance 360 in here. It was him and it was what was Good Burger? Keenan and Kel.
Yes.
So
Yes, Keenan and Kel.
Keenan is obviously famed mobster comedian Keenan Thompson, who credibly had people attack Chris Redd in public, and nobody seems to want to fucking deal with that for some reason. Not only did Keenan Thompson throw a sham, Did he throw a sham festival in like every city or just this one?
I think it was more than this one. I don't know.
He just had some like weird random black lady throw a sham festival with his name on it that he didn't show up to, and that's the second least criminal thing I've known him to do, because he almost certainly, and I hope I'm sued for this, set up Chris Red outside of the Comedy Cellar. Fellow SNL cast member Chris Red outside of the Comedy Cellar to be jumped and robbed. But anyway, sorry, Cal was also on the show with Ray J.
Okay.
Dance 360.
This is Dance 360.
Hell yeah, it is. It's a competitive. It was just on like UPN at like 3 p.m, and it was just competitive dancing with these two hosting.
Kel,
Tag 'em in.
and Ray J.
Cal and Ray J.
That's fascinating.
Oh, tag 'em in. Tag 'em in.
I never heard of this.
Yeah.
And
it
Ray
had a
J
good
must
run.
have been young still.
He had done Moesha.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had fucked Kim Kardashian yet.
No, I don't think so. Not
Yeah, this might be so that's Kel in the yellow shirt there.
Yes.
This is a pretty white clip of this. I gotta be honest with you.
Well, when you type in Dance 360, I think this whole show is white, though. I don't think it was.
Well, it was on UPN.
That's true.
Which was the BET of network television.
At that time,
Yeah.
BTCW.
But yeah. Anyways, how long have we done? Do we have the time for this
Yeah.
episode of Cops?
We're at an hour right now.
All right, let's watch a little bit of
Just
it. If we have to zip through it a little bit. But this was it. All of this made me think back to, we all love watching an episode of Cops. So I went back and found on YouTube, you can just watch the entirety of Cops. And this was the first episode of Cops, which very clearly was meant to be a reality show in the first place. Like, they wanted personality pieces on it, and then they realized who has better personality than cops is criminals. So they focused way more on the criminals.
We'll have to skip this. The music.
The music will probably flag us. That's a good call on that. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I got my city doing front flips. Chance is still good. He didn't lip sync, which I appreciate. Honestly, like at a rap concert, you can get a 6 out of 10 for me for just actually rapping.
Just a little mildly.
Like if you just not lip syncing in a rap concert, that's really all I need from you.
That's true. Yeah, because it doesn't require. You don't even have to have a perfect voice. Because a lot of lip sync is like, I'm not going to be right. So there's no reason to lip sync.
Double check your rounds real quick.
Oh yeah, they got this guy way under. Because you were warning me before this. You're like, this is way more excessive forcey.
This is absolutely before they realized, a lot of people are going to watch this, and they're not actually on our team.
Right.
Like, I think the original concept of Cops was to watch and cheer for the cops. And I think very quickly they started realizing people don't seem to be. They focus grouped it for a while, and they were like, they seem to like the criminals better.
You know what though? I somewhat disagree in the sense. Well, like I do think we enjoy the criminals, but I think at this time, even people who didn't traditionally like the cops loved watching cops and loved watching someone get thrown to the ground. We changed at some point, and now you could not come out with cops. Even like later years where they weren't doing that as much, people just don't like the cops anymore. But back then, you got away with this.
It's true. I'm living in outside the context of this originally, so I don't know how people would have. This is a dead cop. Yeah. You see how they're trying to do like a bit of a heroes, like we die on the force, and then the show eventually just became like. This guy's wearing panties in his head.
And this guy looks like, who's that actor?
Oh, this is great. Go back a little bit. I enjoy this. Sorry.
This phone call?
This happens. And he just gets a call about this as it's going in progress.
If you see any potential of anything is spreading away from that area and getting any bigger, please let me know right away and I head down that way, okay? Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye.
So what was the call?
Like, what were you going to do?
Sorry, to come home, but that's the way it has been all day.
So this is the problem once you get into TV. Is just knowing how things are. Why in the world would they be filming at his house? That's not even on the television. You can tell that's not on the TV.
Yes, that's
so
true.
They were just like, hey, there was this like, I don't know, probably a few weeks ago, an explosion at the chemical plant. Let's pretend like you're just laying here with your dog and your wife and you have to like deal with, you know what I mean, while it's on the news. Like they just wanted this to be.
They wanted a narrative
show,
to
so
it.
that
Yeah.
Here they have, they're like, here's the bitchy secretary lady click-clacking on the keyboard.
Well, she's the, I'm assuming, dispatch.
Yeah, sorry, not secretary lady. They're all secretaries to me.
I mean, it's a form of that. I mean, you're just taking in calls, and there's really no difference.
In the neighborhood, and because of
when they say International Secretaries Day, I said, didn't we already have International Women's Day? All right, so we got our first black.
At least this is, I'm assuming, is more real because there's some blurring.
Yeah, back at this point, they didn't realize that they didn't have to do that if the person was guilty.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, the person's guilty in Florida. This is why everyone thinks that Florida is so crazy. But the reality is that in Florida, you're allowed to show their face if they're guilty.
Right.
concealed firearms. You understand?
But also you could bear. This is the worst blurring ever. You can see his face.
Yeah.
And
blurring technology hadn't come along.
And I'd be so mad if the cop that came to arrest me is wearing
Now,
cool guy sunglasses.
I also love that they tell them that they can smell marijuana. For those of you who can't see this, it's a convertible. He's driving a convertible.
Yeah,
I can smell marijuana in your opened top convertible. Is something I would love a cop to say to my face.
It's a game out here. That's all it is. Cat and mouse game. Some days they
But
win,
back
some
then
days I
too,
win.
they
That's
could get
all
away
it
with
is.
saying, not only do I smell marijuana,
Sometimes you can sit right
you
here.
look like you would have marijuana.
Yeah. You look at the type of guy.
No one will ever tell me you don't, and I will arrest you and get away with this.
Give them about a minute.
They had it so fucking easy
They
before cops.
really, if they could have just kneeled on less necks.
Yes.
Like, how mad must cops be at Derek Chauvin?
I know, because they had so much leeway.
They had it made into shape.
Yeah.
It
You could harass. I remember this. It was just a general. You could harass people all day long.
This was just if white people came to this neighborhood, they pulled them over and searched them.
If you're watching, because people some people are just listening to this. Every clip is just them.
Go
harassing-
back. This is awesome. I love this. We have to just listen to this part here. This is a perfect encapsulation of what you could get away with.
Tell me I didn't see what I saw.
I was just driving by, sir. You stopped by my car.
Yeah. And what was the exchange going on?
There was no exchange at all, officer.
You just stay there, no move. Where do you think you're going,
This
pal?
one.
I'm lost.
No, you're not.
I'm from I'm not even from around here.
No, you're not.
I'm from California.
You got some ID?
Yeah.
Let's look at it. But you know what happens over here to white guys like you? Huh? No, sir. But what happens is they usually get yanked out of the car if you look easy. Then they'll put a gun to your head, pistol whip you, and take your car.
This is literally the scene.
If you're white.
This is literally that
And
scene
about
from
drugs?
Training Day.
Well, you know what? I appreciate your honesty.
Hold on,
Because if you're going to be straight with me, I'll be straight with you. If your license is good, I'll give you a little slap on the wrist until you be on your way, and then I don't want to see you around here again. Does that sound fair? Yeah. No, I don't need you. I don't need you.
Hey, black guy, beat it.
I'm just trying to get these white boys to stop from coming in here.
I'm trying to stop these white boys from coming in here.
I'm the only white face in this area.
I am the only white face in this area.
Okay? It has nothing to do with white or black. It has to do
Yes, it does.
with crime
I love that.
against persons.
I
People
think
that
that's
come
the
over here to buy
first moment in
drugs,
cops' history
get involved
where
in
a
serious
cop
crimes.
realized
Come
he's
over to
on
the car.
camera. Where he's like, this isn't about black and white, but I am the only white face allowed to be here. If I see another white person in this area, I will arrest you.
Oh my
Well,
God!
we have
This
to
is
get a confirmation number.
this is he.
What
But
is-
he's
what is it
literally he's going from car to car harassing
Violation of
people.
probation?
And sure, some of them
Yeah, I
are
said, didn't I say
absolutely
if you
drug
come back
addicts and
clean, you're on your way?
criminals.
Well, if there's a warrant
But
for
still,
your
it's
arrest,
just
we can't
funny.
let
He
you go.
has no
Get back out.
discernment
Put your
for
hands on
which
the
car.
car,
He's
make
just
sure
stopping
you're-
everybody.
It's just, that's white. If they're
Yeah,
white,
if they're
he'll
white-
stop them, and if they're black, they're like, yeah, drug yourself to death. What do you care? I love that this guy
the
bolts.
guy's running.
This guy
This is
bolts.
great. Yeah. He's got a good stride.
He has a very tight hips.
Yeah.
But it kept the pace good. fat boy just gives up. I love that you watch
Yeah,
your
yeah.
first fat cop just absolutely give up on the chase.
Oh, there used to be fat cops all the time.
New York, you'll still get fat cops. That's why I like the NYPD. It's the largest. NYPD is so large, it would be the second
Look at him.
largest standing army. This guy's going.
He's good. He looks like he could do this for hours.
He's gassed a little bit at
Yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
yeah. I mean, look.
And then they got him. I love that when they have to edit the catching him, and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
officer's baton is just out.
Yeah.
They don't show you what just took place, but the perp is on the ground.
Yeah, that was a bit of a hand over the body cam type moment
Yeah.
from nowadays. Yeah.
God, do I hope that the fucking cop turned his body cam off when he hit me with the car so I can whatever. I mean, as much as I would love footage of the body cam footage of a cop driving into me, it just clearly, if he turned his body cam off right before he drove his car into me,
This is so funny. They're arresting one guy, and then somebody's just around, and they're harassing that person.
and now they got to grab.
arrested them.
This is, and now this was the situation with me and my chick last night. They started going after the girl.
Oh, she's freaking. She's
And
a problem, though.
what a great way, though, for cops to get you worked up is to go after your chick and just
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that
yeah.
now you've got to do something that they're going to fucking be able to get you on.
It is fascinating. They literally could do whatever they wanted at that time.
It was, yeah.
Like, you're like, hey, what kind of cop work are we going to do today? Oh, we're going to harass an entire neighborhood.
Well, episodes of Cops got great when they would start. What I never understood as a kid was when they would dress up as prostitutes and then go arrest people.
Oh, Vice?
Like, because it was just like, but aren't you creating crime? Like, it was always so hard to wrap my head around as a child.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have to find that fine line of like, yeah, dress sexy, but wait for the guy to assume you're a prostitute.
Well, and it was always strange because they would do it where it would be like a male officer dressing up as a woman, and you're like, well, there's no extra charge for that. Like, that's just sort of humiliating him for no reason. Like, there's no, it's not like there's a charge for prostitution and there's a charge for gay prostitution. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know why you had to do that to them.
Yeah, you know what it was? It's because they understood if you're a guy going with a straight prostitute, you're a straight guy, you're not really a criminal. But it's the gay ones.
You have
those,
to, yeah,
Those are the ones we got to arrest first.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
All right, skim through the rest. Let's just see if there's anything else fun. I am tempted to do a Cops Watch Along podcast as well at some point.
Yeah. There's something there.
Yeah, this is just a lot of like personality pieces. We get to know like a family. There's like one of the couples in this is fun or whatever. Okay, I feel like we've done long enough.
Yeah.
We don't need to go overly through this, but
stay tuned for Cops Watch Along.
well, and stay tuned for. I think this is going to be. I mean, there was the OJ trial. I was in grade 4 when the OJ trial happened. I remember my teacher, Mr. Amlin, rolled the TV in for us to watch the verdict of the OJ trial in grade 4, and I was like, this is about a guy who murdered his wife. I don't know that we need to watch this, but so there was that, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and now my double riding bike ticket.
You know what? That also, just to let you know as a teaser for another episode, I've got a great video of someone very famous arguing that OJ did not kill his wife, and I would love to play that for you.
Absolutely.
For you to see who is actually saying it, and you, I think you'll be a little shocked.
Was it OJ?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, it's someone else.
Okay. Well, next week, call in 1-833-ROB-ARG. I will start handling your arguments. Listen, you have to understand, I do want to get to helping you, the people. I want to be able to put my skills out there for your benefit. But this week, at some point, sometimes you got to use your own skills on your own behalf. So give me a little grace here. I'm putting my own argument skills to use, and you'll see how. A $12,000 check from getting arrested at G20. That's hard to argue with, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's a good sign of what I'm doing. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see you next week. Rob Loves Arguing. Thank you very much.